if you're getting married or recently got married, I mean, life is being full of change. You're trying to get rid of some things, trying to hold on to some things, and all points in between. But what if you're holding on to some things that you shouldn't? Well, before I get into all that, let me welcome you back to my channel. My name is Ayana, and this is Beyond Committed, where we talk about everything from life, faith, family, marriage, motherhood, and everything between, and we take them beyond. If this is your first time here, welcome, and I'm so glad you stopped by. And to make sure you're not a stranger, make sure you press that subscribe button below and turn on notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now let's dive right in. We all enter into relationships and then enter our marriage with different viewpoints, different opinions, different expectations. I mean, the list can go on and on. And one thing that we often enter marriage with that we're not even realizing or even truly fully aware that we're entering in our marriage with, that actually can make our marriage harder in different ways, are marriage myths. Marriage myths are those things that we believe to be true. We've either heard it, thought it up all on our own, or kind of been led to believe this is what is true about marriage, or this is what's not true about marriage, or this is what's true about being a wife, or this is what's not true about being a wife. I mean, the list can go on and on. And I know these three that I'm sharing with you today are something that a lot of us carry into our marriage, because I know I carried at least two of these into mine until someone who loved and cared about me and my marriage enough was like, okay, this is not how marriage should be. It was, I don't know whether I said something or referenced it or whatever, but they were able to show me that, okay, no, that's really not true, and gave me not just reasons, but kind of showed me why it wasn't true. So that's what I'm here to do today. I'm going to debunk 3 marriage myths that some of us carry in a marriage to help us to have stronger, healthier, and happier marriages. Marriage myth number 1 is that marriage is 50-50. Now, I know in marriage we have different roles, we have different responsibilities, and God gives us some of those. I mean, there's things God calls us as wives to do, there's things that God calls husbands to do, and then there's things in which we decide within our marriages that, you know, these are kind of our roles, these are kind of things that we're going to do. Just like some wives don't cook or clean in their house, and then some husbands don't work out of the home or manage all the, you know, household maintenance stuff, you know, those traditional type of roles, which is great for some people and not great for others. So it's like, you know, kind of defining those roles. But when we look at it from a 50-50 standpoint, it's like, I'm just going to get enough to meet you here, then you give enough to meet me here, and somehow this is going to work out the way it should. And that may be okay sometimes, but it's not going to help you in the long run, because marriage is something that you have to give your 100% to. I mean, marriage takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort. You're both growing and changing as the years go on. So if you want to grow and change together and you want it to be as healthy and happy as it can be, then you have to be giving it your all. You have to be giving it 100%. Because if we just look at the numbers, I mean, if I'm giving 50, where's the other 50% going? You know, so it's so important that we are giving our 100, not looking at it as if, okay, I'm just going to give enough to get to us to here, or and wait for him to show up here. No, we have to give our all. And sometimes that seems and feels like we're giving more in certain seasons, but we can't judge and we can't get in the ticky-tack things of, well, I did this, so he should do this. No, we are to love and care for our husbands and pray that they do the same and meet us exactly where we need to be met, and we're both giving 100% every day that we can. Marriage myth number 2 is that you can please each other. Now, this is something that's easy to believe. This is something that, okay, I mean, it seems to make sense. I mean, he's my other half, or he's my better half. But in reality, you shouldn't be completing each other. You should be complementing each other, because you are supposed to come into your marriage as 2 whole people. I mean, even God says, you know, 2 became 1. So that means 2 whole people came to create this one union that is now one. And that means that you have to be whole within yourself. You're not looking for your husband to complete you, to fill in holes and fill in gaps. They are supposed to complement you. There are things in which you are good at that he may not be. There are things that he may be good at that you may not be. And it's in those differences that you come together, not to fill in a hole, but to complement, so that you are a better union. You are better together. And I know for me and my husband, that is so true. I mean, he is like, the glass is half full, and I am like, don't you see half that glass that's empty? And why aren't we talking about that? And it's hilarious at times because we'll get like into like little like spats on, and I'm like, he's like, well, we can do this and this is going to be great and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, but what happens when it's not great? What happens when this doesn't work out like this? And at sometimes it can cause us a rub because the other person just wants the other to see their way. But it's such a beautiful thing. And it is something that's grown for us over time in our marriage, because it allows us both to see our blind spots. It allows us both to kind of see things in a different perspective, allows us to see things that we wouldn't see on our own because we only have one viewpoint. So I'm not looking for him to complete me and fill in my empty spaces. I'm looking for him to complement me, to walk alongside me, to help me be a better me, and for us to have this great, better union. And marriage myth number 3 is that it's you against the world. Now, this is one that my husband and I held on to tight early in our marriage because, for the most part, it was just us. I mean, we lived far away from family. We've actually never really lived around family, so it's kind of just us doing us. And it wasn't until someone showed us that when we had that thought pattern, when we believed that marriage myth, we were isolating ourselves from others. We weren't allowing other people in to help love on us, care for us, show us different things, to help mentor us along the way, and to pray for us, to help us, give us the tools and things we needed to have a stronger marriage, because we were just starting out in this thing. And even now, 13 years later, there's still things that we have yet to learn. There's still things that we haven't experienced and that we go through, that you need other people alongside you who love and care about you, who want the best for you and your marriage, to be able to speak life into you. And they can't really do that if you're taking that mentality of it's you against the world. So that is one marriage myth that I'm so glad someone shared with me, because it has changed how I look at my marriage. It has changed how I allow people in. Although we still need boundaries, although everybody can't be let in, although, you know, there's still different levels to how in you get within your marriage, it is important that you take the opportunity and you take the time to surround yourself with other loving, caring, and God-centered couples to help you grow as not just a wife, but grow within your marriage. All right, now that's it for today. And I want to know, what marriage myth did you believe and how did you debunk that? Let me know in the comment box below. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you press that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a video. All right, now until I see you again, bye.